Good morning. Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose, and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. Alright, we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. Instead of me doing a recap episode and taping it after the show, I'm going to go live. It will be the first time I'm going live, so I am probably anticipating some kinks that we will get worked out throughout the show. We will talk about the episode, we'll recap that, we'll discuss it, we'll talk about the week's events that have happened this past week, where we see it going forward, if we're on long enough and we know who wins the HOH, we'll discuss that and which way they'll go. Today's episode is going to be a recap from the last 24 hours. I'm going to talk about Wednesday night's episode a little bit. I was very disappointed in the way that it was portrayed. Alright, we're going to jump right in. I'm going to start off where we left off yesterday. Brittany and Michael talk about where they go from here. They realize that a lot of the Hellscats are upset with them as well as they are Kyle. Them for holding the information and not putting it out there sooner, for using it for strategy. Michael tells Brittany that he trusts her with everything, and she says, "You can trust me." Now, I've seen a few conversations that have taken place between her and Taylor that would allude to the fact that Brittany knows that Michael's got to go. Brittany knows that there's no way she can make it to the final two with Michael. But I don't necessarily know if that's her being honest with Michael or her being honest with Taylor. So right now I can see it going either way. I think that she would probably I don't think that she would put Michael up and be the reason that he was voted out. But I don't think that she would prohibit any of these discussions from going forward. She said, "I don't think Taylor will come after you, but she won't do anything to protect you from going home." Michael asked if she said anything, and Brittany tells him that she told Taylor that she felt good about the final four with Monty and Taylor. She said Taylor told her that Michael probably wouldn't make it that far. And Michael said, "So how soon before the final four do you think they're going to cut me?" And she said, "I don't know." She said, "How soon does he win HOH?" I'm assuming she's talking about Monty. She said, "We're to the point in the game, it's about winning and who takes the biggest shot." Michael said, "It doesn't change anything. I'm going for every competition just like I have been, so it doesn't matter." So he's still going to try no matter what. I don't see Michael, being the super fan that he is, ever throwing a competition. Unless it is to Brittany. If it's down to the final two of them, I can see him throwing it to Brittany and letting Brittany take the shot. But I think then she would probably almost be bombarded with the rest of the house telling her that Michael needs to go. I don't think that she could do it, but we'll see. Michael said, "I know as much as I don't want to make HOH decisions next week, it guarantees I can play in the veto and that I'm safe for the week," which is huge at this point. Michael said, "If we get through next week, winning one comp a week is doable." Monty and Turner talk, and he tells Turner that Taylor's not thinking the same way that he is. That he feels like Taylor is protecting Michael and Brittany. And Monty says, "It makes me wonder if they've known all along what was going on and just didn't tell the rest of the house." Monty said, I can talk to Taylor, but I don't know. Michael is a comp piece, so that's different. But Brittany, I don't know how far I can go because Brittany was the only one that ever showed Taylor the time of day. Brittany was, I don't want to say her savior because that's not even the word I'm looking for, her friend. Brittany was the only one that stepped up and was a friend to Taylor when she needed it the most. He says he wants to ask her, hey, have you thought about the fact that Michael took down Brittany and the timing of all of this? And you've been the closest to them, and they never thought to bring this up to you? He said, I'm almost getting to the point of like, did you know about all this shit? I just feel like that's important information. Turner said, it's like when we were on the hammock. She was making excuses for them. And if she shows them that much love when they wronged her, how far will she go to taking them out? They said that they'll be safe next week, no matter what. And they trust Brittany, Michael, and Taylor when they say that they won't put them on the block. Now, I really wish that before Monty went to Turner with all this shit, that he had sat down and had a conversation with Taylor and asked Taylor those questions. Instead of going up there and putting all of that in Turner's head and creating even more mistrust between Turner and Taylor. I don't know if that was his goal, but I would have much rather seen him sit down and have a candid conversation with Taylor and ask her this stuff. Because if nothing else, Taylor has shown all season that she is brutally honest. She's not going to blow smoke up his ass. If he comes out and asks her a question, she's going to tell him the truth. So after the conversation with Turner, then he goes and finds Taylor to have this conversation. And he said that he would have hoped with everything that was going on this week that Michael would have taken Taylor off the block instead of Brittany. And Taylor said, I talked to him about that. And she said, the A and B can be, she said, both A and B can be true at the same time. She said, I understand his reasoning that there was more of a chance the house would flip against Brittany than me. She realizes that if he would have taken Brittany or left Brittany up there and taken her down, they could have kept Kyle this week. They could have been like, we can't get to Michael, so we're going to break up that duo. And they could have flipped it and taken Brittany out. Whereas he didn't see them flipping it and taking Taylor out and leaving Kyle in the house. They didn't think that would ever happen. I don't see that happening either. So I kind of understand both sides of it. And she says, I didn't want him to use it on me. She said, I get a chance to speak to America, and it will be more impactful than any statement Brittany can give. She said she doesn't want this week to be about white saviors. She will have a voice. Monty says, to him it wasn't about being a savior, but more of what have they learned in this week's process. He says he would like to see folks see that you don't have to be racist to still be complicit by keeping quiet in these situations. She tells Monty, I also feel all of these layers. Where you and Terrence and I differ is on the timing. She said, I appreciate that they took their time with all of this. And Monty said, what do you think the benefit of that was? How did it benefit? What was the benefit of them taking their time? And Taylor says, I don't like accusations like that unless you're 100% sure. She said, Terrence, you and I can tell the signs. We see the yellow flags before they turn into red flags. They don't. That they had to take their time to work through it. Because if they're going to bring this shit forward, that they better be correct. She said she's not mad at them for that. She said especially with the cameras all around. she's giving them benefit of the doubt. She's saying, they had to be 100% sure. They were sure. Let me just be very clear on that. The episode tonight showed that. They were very clear about what they were doing. Okay, so this conversation's going on, and all of a sudden the cameras flip to Kyle and Alyssa laying in Kyle's bed cuddling. And I'm like, what the hell? They were broke up 10 hours ago. Are they not broke up anymore? Who the hell knows? I'm not going to put any more light on that situation because I don't think that he deserves the light to be put on him at all. I think that everybody needs to put more focus on the rest of the house guests that were harmed. So I'm not even going to go there. That will be the last time I update anything about him unless it has to do something specifically with the game. Most of today has been just chill. There was like absolutely hardly anything going on. I watched the live feeds for a little while and then I'd pause it and go fast forward through everything, and it was just hanging out, chilling. No real game talk until this evening. Brittany, Michael, and Taylor talk. Taylor said Turner was outside last night talking about regrets and rounding up the leftovers for a final five. Or reheating, I guess is the word he used. Reheating the leftovers. Taylor was like, huh, yeah, right. And Michael said, if he doesn't want to put us up until final five, that's great for us. And Michael said that would mean he would have to send home Terrence or Alyssa. And I don't really see him doing that. And Taylor said it would be better to beat Terrence or Alyssa. And Michael said, yeah, but if he's coming after you, then he needs to be the first to go. So she's saying it'd be easier to keep Terrence and Alyssa in the game because they're going to be easier to beat. But Terrence is clearly coming after Taylor still. He proved that by trying to flip the vote and keep Kyle in. Taylor said, yeah, how's he going to tell the whole house this week that he wants me out and Kyle to stay? Okay, whatever. They talk about how Alyssa has the most jury votes in there right now. Anyway, against anybody in that house that's in there right now, if they set Alyssa next to them, Alyssa wins the game. They went through all the people that would be in the jury, and she will have the five votes that she needs. Michael said, yeah, and she got Turner and Kyle to flip on their own alliance. That's on her resume. And so right after that conversation, Brittany goes in the bubble room and talks to Alyssa. And they're talking, and in casual conversation, Brittany brings up the fact that Turner said he wanted to reheat the leftovers. It wasn't a slip up. Was it to make her distrust Turner a little bit? Maybe. Was she making fun of it? I don't know. But she just came right out and told Alyssa. And Alyssa's eyes got big. She was like, and she goes, then that would just leave me and Terrence. You're right. She knows Turner's not going to put her up. Monty is still upset with Michael and Brittany for using this for strategy and Michael not taking Taylor off the block. He tells Taylor if they have a chance, they have to take Michael out or they're not going to win anything. They might as well be signing the check for the final two. I'm sorry. They might as well be signing the check for second place. And like I said, there wasn't a lot of game talk. So that was it. So we're going to get to the recap episode tonight. I, for one, was highly disappointed in CBS. I understand that they couldn't cut the movie part. And now we're at tonight's episode. I was highly disappointed. I understand that they can't cut out the movie because that's advertisers. They've already paid for that. They have so many minutes. They have to have that in there. I get that. But I felt like tonight's episode was, they could have cut out a lot. They could have shortened what they showed in the competition. They could have shortened Kyle's DR sessions. There was stuff that they could have taken out and showed more of what actually happened this week. The things that they didn't show is they didn't show Kyle going off on Brittany while Michael and them were watching the movie and screaming and hollering at her for 2 hours. And I'm a little bit upset about that too, because Terrence and Monty sat in the kitchen the whole time that was going on. And they never went back there and stopped it. They didn't necessarily have to stop the conversation, but the aggressiveness and the yelling and screaming that he was doing at her, that could have been curtailed. They didn't show the conversation between Kyle, Monty, and Terrence in the have-not room, where evidently some stuff was said to Monty that Kyle had felt like he had to apologize for. They didn't show the house meeting. However, they did say that that would be tonight. I still don't think we're going to get to see a lot of that. Because of the simple fact, they said that we're going to get, tomorrow night, that we're going to get to see the house meeting, the eviction, and the HOH call. I don't think that that's enough time, an hour, to get all of that in and actually show the things that they need to show. Like, they could go back and show the conversation between Kyle and Brittany, and Kyle and Michael, and Kyle and Alyssa, and Kyle and Turner. They've got receipts that they could show. I feel like tonight's episode was more about making Brittany and Michael out to be the villains because they held on to this information, and because they were using it for strategic play, it made Kyle look like a victim. Now, maybe tonight's episode will shed a little bit more light on it, but me as a casual viewer, not knowing anything that's going on at that house, if I'd have watched that episode tonight, I would have thought Michael and Brittany are just downright dirty, playing dirty. Poor Kyle. That's what I would have thought. So hopefully they go a little bit more in depth tomorrow or tonight. And whenever Alyssa and him were talking, and he said, "What do I do?" and she said, "Go up there and talk to him." Brittany, Michael, and Turner were in the HOH room. Go up there and talk to them. That clip they showed of him going from her room upstairs to the HOH room was long before anything happened. When she told him to go up there and talk to them, he went straight to try to get into the DR. He couldn't get into the DR because Taylor was in there. They said diary room not available. He went straight upstairs and tried to get in the DR up there. Same thing. Diary room unavailable. He spoke into his mic and said, "You need to get me in somewhere right now, immediately." They kicked Taylor out of the DR downstairs. He went right into the DR. He told Alyssa in that conversation, "If this is what they're pitching, I'll just leave. I'll quit the game. I'm not doing this. I'll quit the game." When he went in that DR room, he had every intention of self-evicting because he knew hell was fixing to rain down on his ass. And I don't know what they did in the 3 or 4 hours that they had him in there, but they talked him into staying. So that was a bad edit, very bad edit. That is not what happened. Him going up to the HOH room happened before he went to talk to Alyssa, because he tried to go in the HOH room and it was locked, and Turner opened it and said, "Can you give us some time? I'll come get you when I'm done." He goes downstairs and Monty and Taylor and Terrence are in the car room talking, Then he goes in and he wakes up Alyssa, and he has that conversation with Alyssa. That was the chain of events. Alright, so that's my rant for the CBS show tonight. I was highly disappointed. I don't think that they did the situation justice. They may rectify it tonight, but I highly doubt it. Alright, so I go back to the feeds afterwards, and Taylor's talking to the camera. She's laying in her bed. And she says, America, I hope you're as angry with Terrence as I am. I'm actually furious with him. If I win HOH next week, no one better come and try to talk game to me. Don't come up to my room. I know what I'm going to do. I don't want any influence. If you want to come and hang out, that's fine, but you will not talk game in my room. Right after that, Monty calls her into the car room. Like, really? And he tells Taylor that if she does get HOH, that she needs to go after Michael and get him out, and it would be hell of a thing on her resume to get the strongest person in the game out. She would be the one to do that. That would look good to the jury. He still goes into the same thing about their timing and Michael not taking her off the block and how he feels about it. And she said, I hear you. We're on the same page. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, what happened to 5 minutes ago when you said, don't influence me? I know what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm a bit biased because I like Michael and I don't want to see him go home. Right now, I think for a final two story, I think comeback story or storyline, whatever. I think for the final two, whoever sits in those two chairs, right now, I think that Michael against anyone wins first place. I think Taylor versus anyone but Michael wins first place. Because they're going to look at her story. She was supposed to be gone week 1. And she's still there. And she will still be there for a few weeks to come. If not, they're at the end, final 2. I think if Monty shows his cards, he'll be out. I think that if he keeps playing like he's been playing, let the two sides go against each other, sit back and let it happen, I think he's got a good shot at making it to the end. I see him very possibly winning the game. Alyssa, if they let her get in those final 2 chairs, I think with the jury that they have, she's going to win. Not deservingly, but she's going to win because there's going to be a lot of bitter people in that jury. So that's where we stand right now. I'm excited about the episode tonight. I want to see how it plays out. And don't forget, I will be going live at, I think it's 10:15. I have it scheduled for now. I'll go live and we'll talk about it and discuss it. And you guys can help me work out the kinks so we can start doing lives. Going forward in the future, I'd like to have a Thursday night live after the show. So, that's about all I have for y'all tonight. Like I said, it was a slow day. I will see you guys tomorrow night, right after the show. And until then, much love.